Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Ryan from Blipsounds, and today we are going to be playing Animal Crossing and talking about the sound design in the game. If you guys enjoy the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, let's dive right in. So, with Animal Crossing, let's obviously talk about the voice right away. One thing I noticed is that when you go to the keyboard in Animal Crossing and you hit a different letter, it gives a different phoneme. So it'll give something like ah, oo, e, or something like that, depending on which letter you hit. So I feel like that's kind of how they do it. And it's not one-to-one, right? So when you see the letter H or E or L or O, it's not just going eight. It's not like making the phonemes for that. It's more so just making like little noises that make it sound like speech. I imagine that they probably have some sort of like back and forth filtering system where they go from a consonant letter or phoneme to a vowel phoneme, something like that. I'm not sure. Big Island. Oh, the UI sounds in Animal Crossing are so good. Just like the little boops and bops and like little like emotion sounds, I guess. Like when Tom Nook was talking there and you could hear the little bling, or even like at the end of a sentence, it'll have like a little like downward pitch UI sound. It's so great. So I guess one of the first things to talk about would be the footstep sounds. So the footstep sounds are really, really loud. Really stand out in the mix. Somebody in a stream the other day said that they were very noisy. Like there's a lot of white noise layered in, which I think is a good thing that there's white noise, because white noise tends to not have a whole lot of personality, and a neutral sound like footsteps benefit from having some white noise in it because it makes it not stand out from other sounds. But Animal Crossing mixed it very loud in this game, and I think mixing the volume of the footsteps this loud would be a problem on a lot of games, but for Animal Crossing, I think it can be argued that it works well. Mostly because if we're gonna mix the footsteps of the game to be quiet, then that allows us to focus on other things in the world of the game. But there's really not that much that moves around in the world of Animal Crossing. Like, maybe there's a fish that moves around, some ocean waves or something like that, but overall, I think the loudness of the footsteps sort of ingrain your mindset to be in the world or the shoes of your character, which I think is great. And then obviously when you run, they're a little bit higher pitched, barely, and a little bit louder as well. That's funny. It doesn't make any sound when you run into something. And then when you get an item, and like let's get the net out, and you start moving slowly to catch something, you really barely hear any of the footsteps. And one cool thing about the sneaking that we're doing is that they kind of took a note from Breath of the Wild, where if you start to sneak up on something, it cuts out the music in the game. What is this thing? Yeah, it cuts out the music so that you can hear the background ambience a little bit. So now you can hear the trees rustling and the player sounds a lot better. And this kind of helps you focus in a little bit more. And I find that for any games that I work on, at least, is that when things are quieter, it makes me focus more on what's in the game. So cutting out the music, and I don't even think they boost the volume of the player sounds or anything. I love that big clap for you. Moving on, we also, I think we have that effect as well when we're fishing. And I love this. I love the idea of having this because it kind of like enhances focus, I guess. And it's always done for activities that require focus, like trying to catch a butterfly or catching a fish. That's always a nice sound. Let it go. I love how they have the high pitch sound and then like a low pitch sound. So when he's just nibbling at it, it does a little like blink, blink. And then when he pulls it under, it's a little bit louder, and the sound goes for a little bit longer. And one thing we talk about a lot is that usually longer sounds and sounds that fill out the frequency spectrum more tend to stand out more. So if you make the first sound a lot quieter and it's less important, but it just wants to tease you, then you can make it a lot quieter and maybe even higher pitch, or just not as much of a frequency spectrum. But on that final sound where it pulls you in, it's just a bigger sound, really. You actually react faster to audio than to visuals, so making the sound a little bit louder allows you to react faster to this. So pro tip for those of you who are trying to catch fish better in Animal Crossing. We also have different footstep sounds. We have sand. And now that I'm listening to this, I think this is... I would have to compare for sure, but like it sounds like the sand is wet right now. And I don't know if that's different from when it's dry, because it feels like it's definitely wet by the sound of it. But I could be wrong. Ultimately, like the difference between like the grass footsteps and the sand footsteps, the grass ones are too loud for sure. But at the same time, I guess I would expect grass footsteps to be louder anywho, so. Nice. The ambient sounds are great. Going near the water gives you some ocean ambience. And then going near the river, you get unique sounds as well. And I'm sure when you go near campfires and such, it's different as well. Let's listen. Yeah, totally different. Pretty well attenuated too. It's just like barely, when you're in the center of the screen and it's just off the screen, you can't hear it. But when you get a little bit closer, it's attenuated a lot better. Really well mixed game overall. We were talking about this in the live stream the other day, but the sounds, the UI sounds in Animal Crossing are by far the best sounds in the game, in my opinion. Ooh, a slug! Oh, it died. Okay. Like, even sounds like that, like the incidental sounds where things will fall, or, actually, let me get an axe out, because that'll be... Did I break my axe already? I think I broke my axe already. That sucks. So, when you go left and right, you get a little tick sound. Also notice the music goes down a little bit when you pull up the UI menu here. So I noticed that when you go left and right, it's kind of high pitched for these smaller ones, and when you go down here, they're a little bit lower pitched. And when you go up and down here, they're a little bit higher pitched. And I think my reasoning for that is because you're making a bigger jump, so it's almost like it's moving faster. And pitch is a really good way to determine speed and size of something. So when you're moving from high to low, or like across different rows, it's really nice to hear the high pitch because it's moving faster across at the same, or it's getting to a different UI element at the same time, but it's a little bit further away. And then across is the same. Yeah, really just pleasant to listen to. And then we have Nook Miles. Let's, like, even just like small little pop-ups like that. Oh man, just like, even just going from like low pitch to high pitch, like dun, dun, just hearing that little satisfying little, I guess, music UI jingle. I just love it. One thing that I was talking to my roommate about the sounds in this game too is that like Nook Inc. almost has its own brand, which I think is brilliant because it kind of, I mean, for a business perspective, allows Nintendo to probably create like a whole like world to that. Yay! Hey. Let's see what we got here. And even like picking stuff up, it's just a low to high pitch, and all the sounds are so simple, but the UI sounds in a game just really encompass what the game feels like across the board. If you have the UI sound effects in your game, if they don't fit, then you're misrepresenting the personality of the game. So I think that UI sounds are probably one of the most underrated sounds that you can have in a video game. Well, I'm not sure what else we can do here, guys. It would be nice to hear some more sounds like the pole vaulting, or I'm not sure. But I think this kind of covers like some of the basics for what the Animal Crossing soundscape consists of and what they were going for. Mostly I think that they're focusing on the environmental sounds, and I think that a lot of the choices they made can be argued that maybe they didn't do it right, like the footsteps and such, but I think that they work, and it can be argued that for how they work and what they work for. I think it's more psychological for like making the footsteps loud and some of those other things, but I think that's going to end it for this video, you guys. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments how you liked the video and if you learned something or what you learned or what you thought was interesting. And if you're a game developer looking for some help on your game, whether it's custom sound design or you just have a question about how to tackle the sounds in your game, don't hesitate to go to blipsounds.com in the description below and contact us on the contact form. We'd love to help how we can. But anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.